Here I am with Mike Robinson, lead presenter of UK Column. And this week, Penny Mordaunt issued a guide to MPs to tackle conspiracy theories, which I believe is probably a tactic coming up to the election to make sure that MPs do not engage with any critical thinkers like ourselves, Mike. Can I just ask one question of you today, Mike? What do you understand by the term conspiracy theory?
Conspiracies have always happened, have they not? And people have always theorized about them.
Mm,
They look at the events and they join the dots and they make a decision about what has happened.
mm,
But of course, that term has been coined as an ad hominem attack,
yeah.
and that makes it a different thing. So
Mm,
it has been redefined, and so anybody that is pursuing a counter narrative would be
mm.
considered a conspiracy theorist these days.
Yes, indeed. Now, Allison Pearson had an article in the Daily Telegraph last week or the week before where she said she was doing a sort of "I told you so" piece, saying, um, "I was." I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I was right about COVID. And I was thinking, well, if you're not a conspiracy theorist, then you can't really get what they were doing with COVID.
I think that removing as much of the theory out of it as possible is the best thing we can do. So we
Yeah.
need to be absolutely vigilant about the quality and the standard of the evidence we're relying
Yes.
on. Right.
Yes.
So and that that we are not therefore theorists under those circumstances. We're
Yes.
looking at the facts. And the
Yeah.
facts with respect to COVID and many of the other policy agendas that we've been talking about today,
Yeah.
the facts are based around a conspiracy, because once you've got, what is a conspiracy? It's a handful of people or lots of people
So it's
working
it's
together for a common
mm.
purpose, as the saying goes, right?
So less of the speculation and conjecture and more just saying what we see. And what do we see today, Mike?
Well, we see lots of stuff left behind by some kind of flying object.
Now, this is surely a conspiracy theory too far. Chemtrails that the powers that be are trying to drop heavy metals on us. I mean, that's going a bit too far, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, is it?
Mm.
Right. So,
Well, more and more people are talking about this now, aren't
yes,
they?
I mean, my personal view, and this is just my personal view.
Mm.
Uh, what are we looking at here? Is that deliberate spraying of us? I don't believe it is. I believe that 99% of what we see is normal air traffic, and I think we should be asking what are normal aircraft pumping out the back. And as
Mm.
I have said on a number of occasions, and people still struggle with my position on this, that does not mean that there is not cloud seeding experimentation, geoengineering experimentation,
Yeah.
and other stuff going on,
Mm.
right? But my concern is that if the focus is 100% on that, and I'm not saying the focus shouldn't be on that,
Yeah.
but it should be on everything. And if what is blocking out my sunlight
Mm.
is mostly air travel,
Mm.
then we need to be talking about that. And that doesn't mean we stop talking about the other thing, but we need to be talking about that as well.
And I wonder if to some extent there's some infiltration in regards to conspiracy theories where they will put in something that's very extreme to make the whole thing look ridiculous. I mean, I'm thinking of QAnon as being ridiculed. I mean, maybe that was a trap that was set, but there's no doubt that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were running the Lolita Express to Little St. James Island.
That's absolutely true. If you were a proponent, if you were operating within the airline industry, what would you do?
Mm.
Right? If the airline industry's biggest concern is that people start worrying about pollution, what would you do? If people are worried about what's coming out of the back of aircraft and what's falling out of those trails up there,
Mm.
what would you do?
Mm.
And that, as I say, that does not mean that you discount the geoengineering, which is without question, the experimentation, which is without question going on.
Yes. Yes.
But you've got to be, this is supposed to be a truth movement. You've got to look at the
Yes.
truth, and you've got to be
Yes.
willing to face a truth that perhaps you're not,
Yes.
that challenges preconceived ideas, right?
Yeah.
And that is a difficult thing to do. That's a very difficult thing to do. I think that's something that we
And
all
if you
have to
don't
do.
go far enough, Mike, you'll be called controlled opposition.
Correct. That's exactly what I have been called on this particular topic, because this is one of those topics that people get extremely motivated about, and I understand why. But I just think that people need to actually consider what they're looking at, and whether the target is the primary target or not.
Yeah. Well, Mike, you did a fantastic talk on the censorship regime today. Rapturous applause afterwards.
Yeah, but
And
this interview is going to get me shot.
keep up all the good work with UK Column.
Okay, thank you very much.